My name is Patrick Allmond, and I run Stop Doing Nothing, which is a coaching company in Oklahoma City, and also a digital marketing agency called Focus Digital Marketing here in Oklahoma City. So I'm all about every single tool online which you can use to basically do lead generation for your business and make your life easier in the digital world. Today, like I said, is December 2nd, and I thought we would talk about some lazy ways you can do projection and planning. And if you would do me a favor also, if you get a chance, and share this show on your Facebook wall, share this show in your group, and possibly share this on your page also, so we can kind of expand the audience here and get some more feedback as to other tools people use. I've had this show idea for a while, and then it kicked into my brain a little bit more when I was putting this shirt on right here. This shirt right here is not for a business of mine. It is a plug for another business. This is Waypoint Fit Co., and this is the name of a CrossFit gym in the Seattle, Washington area, specifically in the Gig Harbor / Purdy area for my friends up in the Pacific Northwest. And this shirt makes me, when I wear it, this shirt makes me think about something I did, which was the kind of the first time for me. It was pretty cool. I was going up to visit my mom who lives up in that area, and fitness has always been a priority for me, but priority, if that makes even a higher priority. And I knew I was going to be out of pocket in my regular CrossFit gym, and so what I did is I looked up CrossFit gyms in the Pacific Northwest, and I found this one right here. This was the closest one to where I was going to be. And about a couple of weeks before I headed up there, which I was going to be up there the week of November 3rd, so a couple of weeks before that, I sought them out because I wanted to make sure I was consistent with my exercise while I was there in Oklahoma City. So I sought them out online. I sent them an email to check in and see what's the process of visiting, and they were very nice about it. It was pretty cool. As a matter of fact, the CrossFit in general, the visitation policy is, you know what, just pay a fee one time and we'll let you work out for the week. There's a drop-in fee, or buy apparel. And so my choice was to buy apparel because I really like any kind of apparel that's black and white. And so that's what I did, is I bought apparel that let me work out for the week. The whole point of this lesson is, trust me, I'm getting someplace, is that it was really important to me to keep up with the fitness. And so what I did, the month ahead of time, is I projected out and I looked at, what are my options? What can I do? And that's going to be kind of a lesson you're going to see here as I talk about this today, is this would have been very hard for me to do on the first CrossFit day, which would have been November 4th. That Monday was the first day I attended. It would have been very hard, or even on the second or the third, for me to say, oh, you know what, I want to attend a CrossFit class in Seattle, Washington. I better look one up now. And I have found that a lot of the mistakes I've made in life, the things I've gotten behind on, or the things I've made some just really huge screw-ups on, were mainly due to me not thinking more than 5-10 minutes ahead of my life, or even a day. The longer I live, the more I've learned that the longer term planning stuff is really important. And again, it's also really hard because nobody wants to take the time and do that. We're always rushing around the moment. We're always living in the moment. And it's very hard for us to basically sit down and take 5-10 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, and say, oh, this is what I want my life and my business to look like next week, next month, next quarter, next year. And so if this has ever happened to you, do me a favor and chime in the comments below. I'd appreciate it too. And also, if you're just watching live or recorded, I'm always kind of interested in the diverse audience. So drop a comment below as to where you are watching from. And same if you happen to listen to the podcast later. So today, and by the way, I want to talk to you a little bit about why you have to stop planning in the moment. Okay, so I took some notes here for you, and so pardon me if I look down from the camera. First of all, these are reasons that are mainly from my life. It's very hard to plan in the moment because things are happening. When things are happening in the moment, they need your immediate attention. So if you're trying to figure out what you want to do, 2 hours from now, sometimes it can be very hard because in the moment right now, there's something consuming your time. There's something consuming your bandwidth. And so it's hard to do that. It's hard to say, oh, I want to figure out what I want to do, later today, right now, because life is happening right now. And we have to think about the future right now because we don't have the time to think about right now. We're making the decisions to eat, live, and breathe right now. So we just don't have that time to do it right now. And if you do try to do it right now, what ends up happening is you end up getting in analysis paralysis or decision overwhelm, to where, right now you have to make a decision on something. What do you eat? Where do you exercise? What do you do for your business? What do you do for your life? What do you do in your house? And with all these decisions you have to make right now, you get really flustered, versus doing a little bit of projection, a little bit of planning. You've kind of already decided ahead of time, and you've taken a little bit of time to decide, what it is you want to do. You don't have to do it right now. You can decide a week or a month or a quarter out, I'm going to do this in a week or a month or a quarter, and you have more time to analyze your options and no stress also. And also, to tell you the truth, and that just brings us back to the fact that making decisions like this are harder to make in the moment. They're easier to make further out. They're harder to make in the moment. So that's why I want you to start thinking about how you can start doing some more projecting and planning in your business, because it just makes things easier. It gives you less stress, and it allows you to make better decisions because you have more information. If you have to make a decision about your business, and you have to make that, you're trying to make that 10-15 minutes ahead of time, you're probably going to start making some very poor decisions because you don't have enough information and you're given no time to think about it, and you are having to stressfully make that decision. We have to figure out how to project that out a little bit. So let's talk about, again, some things and maybe some mindsets about what it is to maybe do some lazy planning out there. And again, these are some very simple tools, not complex, deep mindset stuff. There's some very simple tools out there. And the first thing I want you to do, and you've seen me talk about this before in previous videos, is consider getting a physical calendar. If you are a lazy planner and you don't want to overthink things, consider getting a physical calendar. I decided to do this a few years ago, and what that allows you to do is it allows you to see things bigger picture. I'm someone right here who loves my phone as much as the next guy. And I use my Google calendars, and I use my Apple calendars, and I use all that stuff on my watch also. That stuff is great. I love technology. I try to put all of my life online, possibly too much. But there is a certain simplicity and a certain peace of mind that comes from having your stuff on a physical calendar. And it also allows you to very easily make decisions based on things you can easily see in the future. If you're on a phone call with somebody, or you're sitting down with a family member and you want to decide something, you can just very easily glance at a calendar and say, I can or cannot do that, or here's a good time to do that. When you are in the moment and you're sitting down there with your phone, as much as I do like my technology, it's very hard to kind of be flipping through things and finding things and saying, I can and cannot do that. Or maybe you're looking at a particular day or a particular week, but you're not looking at that overall month sometimes. Oftentimes, our technology is really good at showing us detail, but not showing us big picture. And really big picture stuff is what allows us to do better planning. So I'm a big fan of the at-a-glance calendars. And every year recently, we've been buying, for the office, we've been buying a portrait-shaped 12-month calendar. And that's a kind of a regular Christmas gift. And it allows you to basically use a set of markers and do some of that long-term planning for your year. Here we are at the first week of December 2019, and I want you to start looking at 2020. So what you should already have is, a 2020 physical calendar, however you choose to do it, and you should start marking off, key dates, key business dates, end of quarter dates, certain dates you want to get reports done, certain dates you want to be doing financial reporting, certain dates you want to be doing goal checking with your business and your team and setting in things. Certain fitness goals. If you're the kind of person who wants to do better with their health, you can start putting your fitness goals on there, or fitness events. I haven't done one recently, but one of the things I really like to do when I was kind of baselining my fitness more, is start putting in, a mud run or two every year and getting that on my calendar, because then I can very easily glance at the calendar and see, that's a week out, or that's 6 months out. And what's the work I have to do to improve in that area? And that physical calendar gives you that ability. So again, one of the cheapest things you can get, these things can't be more than $10, $20, a physical calendar, a set of dry erase markers, I do mine on paper because I'm going to throw the darn thing away every year. You may be more of a dry erase person and you want to be able to clean it up as you do it. By all means do that, but for the love of all that's holy, get yourself a paper calendar so you can start looking at stuff. So that allows me to be a little bit lazier in my planning. Also, I want you to stop thinking in terms of days when it comes to planning. Weeks, quarters, and years is how we have to start thinking. And I'm not great at this. I'm getting better at it. But in terms of your business, I want you to start thinking in terms of weeks and quarters. And what that's going to allow you to do is, again, reduce the stress in your daily and weekly life. Obviously, if you're having, kind of weekly stress on getting things done, what do you think in terms of months and quarters and maybe even half years? If you're having if you're daily stressing out about getting things done in your business, then consider doing it, weekly and quarterly. So just start thinking in one segment larger than you're normally thinking. One of the cool tools that allows you to do this, and again, this is going to be a pretty, I'm not sure if I said this or not, it's going to be a pretty quick show, is I'm a big fan of countdown timers. And countdown timers, again, allow me to see big picture the goals I have, or maybe the waypoints, no pun intended, the checkpoints I have in my business, where I basically have to say, I need to have something done by a certain time. And so I've always been a fan of countdown timers or reminders, or things that say you have to get something done by this moment. So when I think about, planning in weeks and quarters and months, I always like to put some kind of measurement point in there. And I was going to show you a cool app I use here on the Mac if you're an Apple person. Where is that doggone image? Is it right here? Okay, sweet. Here we go. So is it up over here? Nope. Here it is. Okay. So this right here, let's see if I can get this right on camera. This right here is an app I use called, on the Mac called, oh, goodness gracious. What is the name of the map? Name of the app? It's right here. It is called Waiting List. There's the icon for it right there. Waiting List. And what this allows you to do in Apple world is this allows you to add basically countdown timers, a ton of countdown timers. I like having a week countdown timer, so you can see that, you probably can't see my mouse, but I'm pointing that I have a weekly countdown timer right there. It tells me exactly how many days, hours, minutes, and seconds to the end of the week. I absolutely love that. And that's a screenshot from my computer, but I'm also carrying that information with me on my phone right here. So because what it does is it shares the information via iCloud, is that information is shared on all of your devices. So when I hop over here to my iPad also, if I can find the darn stinking thing on my iPad, it's right here in front of me, which is of course why I can't find it. There it is right there. So as I add events to it, it syncs up between all the things on there, and it reminds me when things are due, which is really freaking cool. And also when things are coming up due, it pops up on my watch. So it says, oh, you have a thing in a week, or you have a thing in a day, or you have a thing in an hour. So it just kind of keeps my goals and my waypoints in front of me. And so that's a tool that I would encourage you to use. It's called Waiting List. It was pretty inexpensive, and I think it was one price. And I got it on all my devices, so it's on my phone, and on my iPad, and on my watch, and on my computer right there. And it's always there and running, and I can pop it open at any point in time and see these countdown timers, and they're always ticking there, reminding me of things that are due. And then when one comes up due, I get a pop-up on my computer saying, woohoo, like little fireworks and everything go off, telling me that I hit a certain waypoint right there. So that's pretty cool when it comes to projecting out stuff and getting a paper calendar. Also, as you know, with goal planning, it's always good to divide the large stuff up into small stuff. And I'm not going to beat on that one very much because it's one of the obvious things out there that you always know. It's the whole, when you're going to eat, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? It's the same, obviously, with your big goals. And there's plenty of resources on that. I'm definitely not going to, again, beat that horse. It's just kind of one of those obvious things out there that you have to take the big giant things. You have to take the fact that you want to make $1 million in 5 years. and divide that up, into the months and weeks and work it's going to take to do that. Just take the big elephant and take some bites on there out of that. Business-wise, I want to talk to you about a couple of things that's going to help make your life easier when it comes to planning. Also, let's go ahead and get this off the screen for you. Where is that? Right there. Let's get that off the screen for you right there. Business-wise, I'm going to talk about a couple of utilities that's going to help make your planning easier also, so you're not doing it in the moment. One of the things I've noticed with a lot of people is a lot of planning in the moment fails when we're looking at social media or when we're looking at marketing to our email list. And that's an area that technology has fortunately allowed us to save our butts several times on. So a couple of tools in your business that I want you to look at when it comes to planning and helping you do less in the moment stress kind of things is CoSchedule, CoSchedule. Have no connection to them whatsoever, but when it comes to social media planning apps, that's the one that I really like. It's called CoSchedule. It works with your WordPress site or standalone, and what it allows you to do is it allows you to basically look out days, weeks, months ahead of time and drag your social media updates out there. So like if I'm doing my shows, I can basically post show updates months ahead of time, and CoSchedule will take care of them. If you're someone who does a lot of blogging work, a lot of WordPress work, as you're planning out your blog posts, you can use the CoSchedule calendar and drag and drop things in there, in your blog post in your calendar, and make sure that you have things spaced out right. And my favorite feature of CoSchedule, because I'm really a fan of evergreen content, is a feature which escapes me right now. Thank you, Monday morning brain fart, which allows you to take past social media updates and reuse them. So let's say you're watching this video right now, and this video to me is going to be evergreen. You can watch this video for months or for years. But most people only tweet stuff out like that once or post it on Facebook once. I can take something like a YouTube video or a blog post or a Twitter update, and I can say, I want to post the same tweet, once a week for the next 3 years. And it will figure out the best time in there randomly to post it. And so what you can do is you can fill up your calendar in CoSchedule with all this recurring content, and CoSchedule will do a good job of making sure you have consistent updates without repetition. So if I say, I want to post this tweet every single hour for every single day, it won't let me do that because that would be kind of wasteful. It may post the same tweet once a week or once every quarter or once a month to make sure it's kind of spaced out. So there's a bunch of other features there that CoSchedule does that's really cool for your business. But the whole point is it allows you to use your recurring content to really project out your social media calendar and saves you from trying to have to decide in the moment what you want to talk about on social media. So that's a really good one. And if you're someone who does some email marketing, I want you to start looking into some marketing automation tools. And the two really big ones out there that I'm a big fan of are Ontraport and Infusionsoft. And these two tools basically allow you to kind of predefine your marketing, and then your job is just to get people in the front end of your funnel, and these tools will take care of the nurturing that's needed to get somebody to a sale. All marketing is funnel based, but once you have a good funnel defined, your job just comes back to feeding people on the top of the funnel there. So when you can predefine your marketing in a tool like Ontraport or Infusionsoft, your job then is not worrying about the day-to-day emails that go out or the social media updates to these people. Your job becomes, how can I get more traffic in the top of the funnel? If you follow some of the great marketers out there, they've got really good predefined products, really good email nurture funnels, and their job is just getting more and more traffic in the top because the entire funnel is predictable and they know what's going to happen as a result. So again, if you want to talk about some of these tools, by the way, message me because my agency handles these. So you can message me here on Facebook or leave a comment on YouTube or Twitter after the show. I'll get you some more information about these tools and how you can use them to make your life better. But I noticed once I use CoSchedule, all the time, my social media life gets better. And then once I start using tools like Report or Infusionsoft, that my life gets better also. It just makes it so I can focus on the really important and the big picture things, and I'm not worried about the daily minutia things. They're going to eat up my time and eat up my stress level. So again, it's kind of a quick recap of what we covered today. Get a paper calendar and start doing some physical paper projections. It's going to make your life easier. The Mac waiting list apps on all your devices. I don't know, by the way, for you Windows users or you Android users, if there's something equivalent out there. I'm a Mac guy and I like Mac utilities, so that's what I use right there. By the way, if you have a phone, you can also just use it straight on your phone. We talked about dividing up the big stuff into the small stuff, and marketing automation, co-schedule for social media automation, and Report or Infusionsoft. If you've got some other utilities, by the way, that have allowed you to do any kind of projection and make your life a little bit easier for planning, I would love to hear those, because I'm a guy who's somewhat obsessed with using technology apps. And also, if this has been useful for you, do me a favor, like, share, comment, you know the drill. Subscribe, maybe leave a review there on iTunes, on Apple. Do yourself a favor though and just pick one small step today to get started on some of the stuff we talked about, whether it's maybe getting a trial co-schedule subscription, or installing an app, or maybe running over to Office Depot and getting that calendar that I told you about. Just pick something small today and get started on that one small step. So just take some small step today. Comment below what you do, because I'd like to hear everyone's accomplishments. And until tomorrow's show at 10 o'clock Central, put that on your calendar. You guys take care, and we will chat with you soon.